You know him as Dr. Owen Hunt, and we all love him, Kevin McKidd. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
Good to
Nice
see
to
you.
see you.
Let's jump right in.
Sure.
How'd you get to Grey's?
I'd met Shonda and Betsy the year before when they were casting for Private Practice. And I got a phone call literally saying, Shonda wants to meet you again. I was actually in Bucharest at the time doing a movie. I was flying back to surprise my son for his 7th or 8th birthday, and I had literally 24 hours to come and see him. Shonda was like, we need to meet you on that day. And I said, sorry, I can't. It's my son's birthday. And I thought, well, that's my chances gone. You know, like that's my one shot. Later, I remember Shonda saying that she said that kind of made her kind of sit up and take notice. And then we met and we talked about this character, Owen Hunt, and she said she had this rough idea of what he may or may not become and what he, you know, what his history might be, but she wasn't sure.
I make mistakes. Guys die by my hand, good guys. Guys who are fighting for their country in the desert. I don't know everything. Nobody does. So I make mistakes, and I learn. And the next time I don't make that mistake again. So the next time, the next guy, that guy, he lives.
How did you prepare for the PTSD? When did you find that out?
Still in my trailer, I have a stack of books about post-traumatic stress disorder. I felt a real responsibility, and still do, to represent veterans who have suffered from PTSD. You know, it's a good thing to show on a show like this, somebody who has been really damaged by a war event and how they can rebuild their life and move on. I mean, he became chief of this hospital. Right. He got married a couple of times. The 2 marriages haven't worked so far, but he still is functioning and being successful as a human being. Those early episodes with Sandra Oh, when, you know, he was very traumatized and strangling Christina and coming back from that and falling in love with somebody that you'd actually hurt right. was a really interesting, quite a dark storyline to tell, and very brave, I think.
I'm sorry. You're scared of me?
I don't want to be.
You know, because I think there's a lot of stigma around PTSD. So I think that's been partly our responsibility in showing that there is a path forward and there is a life beyond PTSD.
You also direct many episodes of Grey's.
Yeah, I have now. I'm not sure how many I've directed.
How did that come about?
So I started to kind of ask people, and Shonda and Rob Corn and, you know, different people here, if they would be open to me shadowing and following directors. And they were, and really supportive of the idea. Just as I was finishing that, they did a webisode series that season. And they said, we want you, Kevin, to be the director of these 5 episodes of the webisodes, which were 5-minute long little skits. Just as I was finishing my editing on the webisodes, I was sat on this stage and I was doing an interview kind of like this one. And Rob Corn walked down, our producer, and on camera while I'm being interviewed like this, walks up to me and says, hey, so I just want you to know that you're going to be directing the big show. The next episode, you start prep as soon as this interview's over. And I was blown away, you know?
Every actor I've ever spoken with says the best directors were also actors at one point.
Yeah.
Because they come from that point of view and they know how to speak to the actors. Did you find that that was helpful for you?
I think directors are less technical. Like, you know, I'm not up on the lens sizes and exactly the technical mumbo-jumbo of a camera. I do know how to help actors get to the place you need them to get to, if you know what I mean. They like feeling like they're really in their characters and being helped. So I think that's what I can bring as a director. I hope that's what I bring. That's what I try to bring.
How is it directing yourself?
I don't mind it now, but initially it was quite scary.
And action.
Go ahead, Dr. Hunt.
Because you're having to use 2 parts of your brain. It's a bit like trying to, I don't know, cook 2 recipes at the same time, you know,
right.
Like trying to do sushi and bake a cake at the same time, you know. That's a terrible analogy, but.
What about your experience being directed by other actors?
Yeah, Chandra, I love Chandra directing. She's very laid back, but very focused. You know, she was one of the people who inspired me to chase that dream because I saw her doing it. Everybody has their own energy and their own style, and that comes out in the way they direct. Because directing is a very intense job, so it kind of brings out, it kind of amplifies your personality. I'd be interested to hear what people think of my directing style, like crazy Scotsman. My hair goes crazy when I'm directing, because I pull my hair and I'm like thinking all the time, so my hair's always like, it's like I've just put my fingers in the plug socket.
You heard it here first, crazy director here. Well, thank you for stopping by. Good to see you.
Very good to see you, man.